a sophomore in college, I did not feel that I was far enough along in my knowledge to be able to piece things together. Having a standardized patient encounter was pretty nerve-wracking, because I did not know what to expect. I was not confident in my knowledge or in my ability to help somebody. I was not confident in my pathologies, or I just didn't know what to do. But once I started the encounter, I felt I could take control and kind of fake it till I make it. And so going in, I was pretty confident, very friendly, very understanding. I felt I tried to listen pretty well, and I started with history questions. At the time, I felt I did a pretty good and thorough history, but once I was doing my SOAP note, I realized that I missed a few key components. One was I did not ask what sport this athlete was in, and not knowing the sport could very limit the answers that I could provide for him to be able to help him out. And without knowing the sport, I wouldn't know if that is in part why this athlete is coming to see me. And another key component was I didn't know his workout regimen. I didn't know what they did in practice. I didn't know what he does on his own. Does he run? Does he work out? Does he do weights? Is he doing things that he shouldn't, that he thinks is okay but is not? I did hear that he was pushing himself too hard, or pretty hard. But I did not ask him, well, what is he doing to push himself hard? And that led into a key component of what his pathology was, and I missed it. Another thing I could have been doing better was, well, I did ask a lot of questions, and I was kind of listening, but I didn't cue into what those answers were. I was kind of focused on what the next step was. What do I need to ask him? Where do I need to go? I need to cover all my bases. And a key component to what his pathology was part of his diet. And while I did ask his diet and ask for a detail, he gave me a pretty thorough detail of every bit of his diet, and I didn't stop to think about it. I just went, oh, okay, and then went on. And another key component that could have worked and helped towards alerting me about his diet is that I didn't ask the questions about what his sport was or what his workout. The two go hand in hand, and that was hindering his health, which I didn't catch. And so that was a pretty big problem. I noticed I left a lot of spaces in between questions. I was near the end, really. I was too focused on trying to write down the notes so I didn't forget anything, and trying to think what to ask him next, because as the interview went on longer and longer, I realized I had no clue what his pathology could be, and I had to provide something. I had to have a subjective, an objective, and an assessment and a plan. So I went ahead with an assessment and acted like I was pretty confident with that. He accepted it, and I did pretty good with that. Even though it was the wrong one, it was still, I thought it was pretty decent for being my first time. And with the plan, it wasn't correct plan really, because I pulled him from a practice without knowing what his practice was, without knowing his sport, without knowing if he could really do it or not. Which is a good experience. So overall, I feel that after the experience, I am more confident in speaking with patients and more confident in myself and my knowledge. I just need to work on those few key components about making sure I get a more thorough history and listen to those history clues to really just think about them and alert them to what else could be going on and not have a narrow mind of a tunnel vision. Because having that tunnel vision or worried about what is next, you're missing what is right now. So I want to thank you for this experience, and I look forward to helping our patients later on.